Welcome to another episode of I'm Dying to Tell You. This is Dr. Mark Goulston, and I want to address something that's been occurring at an alarming rate, and that's suicide amongst teenagers. I live in Los Angeles, and recently there's been a spate of suicides, especially in some of the private schools. There's a well-known private school called Harvard Westlake. And in the past year, they had 3 student suicides. And also there was a suicide by one of the fathers of one of the suicides. So what is going on that might be contributing to this? I'm a grandparent, and so I often visit my grandchildren's games and I see their soccer games. And there's something that I like to bring up called denial of vicariosity. Denial of vicariosity. Now, what does that mean? It's probably a simpler way to say it. What I've noticed is a lot of times parents, especially parents of children in some of these private schools, are incredibly competitive. That's what made them really successful in their lives. And they're very competitive, and they often want to live through their children. So they really get on their children with their competitive attitudes. Or they embarrass their children by yelling at the coach or yelling at the umpires or the referees. And what happens is when children see that and feel that, they feel that their life doesn't belong to them. They feel that they're having to live your life as that competitive parent. And what happens is it creates enormous pressure and tension in them. And also an enormous fear that if they're not being competitive, if they're not getting all A's, that you're going to be disappointed, that you're going to be angry because they've seen you be that way in the sports field. And so there's often a fear that if they're not there living out something that you want from them to continue your competitive streak, that can start to wreak havoc inside them. And this is not going to be an easy thing to stop. In fact, I'm guessing that parents who are very competitive and who tend to vicariously live through their children are not going to watch this. They're not going to care about this. And often it's going to be too late. So if you do happen to watch this, I hope it's something that maybe you can share with your schools, and maybe you can bring it to the attention of your elementary schools, your junior highs, and your high schools, especially in the private sector. And you might want to bring up to them that they might want to do an assembly about how damaging and destructive it can be to live through your children, to get more of maybe what you didn't get, or to continue to try to be a winner, but you're doing it through your children. Because the suicide rate is increasing. And it's up to all of us to own up as parents to how we might be contributing to that. So I hope you find that helpful.